Today we're making chicken jardine, a very simple one-pot dinner for two very hungry people. Let's do it. First, we sear the chicken. Stove on, and we season the chicken. We're using 2 chicken legs. Normally when I braise, I much rather use dark meat only. If you braise it with chicken breasts, it's gonna be very tough and chewy. So, salt, pepper, same for the other side. Olive oil in the pot. We're not making crispy chicken skin, we just want a bit of Maillard reaction. So you don't have to wait till the oil is shimmering before you add your chicken. Now the jardine in chicken jardine means garden. So whatever vegetables you have in the fridge, you can put them in as long as they cook around the same time. So today we have some potatoes, some carrots, a bit of shallots, garlic, and different kinds of mushrooms. So first, we mince some shallots. It doesn't have to be that fine. They'll cook down and thicken the sauce a little bit. All right, let's check on the chicken. If the chicken sticks to the pot in the beginning, don't worry, just leave them. Once they caramelize a bit, they will release themselves. Decent color, maybe a bit longer. Now the garlic. As you notice, I always put the garlic separately. They burn much faster, so I always add it after the onions or the shallots. Now we can turn our chicken. While that's cooking, we prep some carrots. Again, you want them kind of bite-sized pieces, so they also cook much faster. Chicken, looking great. Now you can add the shallots. I mean, ideally you take the chicken out, you sweat off the shallots, and then you add the garlic. But as I promised, this is a truly one-pot dish. We'll just let the shallots sweat this way. What it's gonna do is it's gonna release its water content so that the sweetness of the shallot comes through. Now, the shallots are translucent. Garlic goes in. I'm gonna give it another minute or two while we peel our potatoes. It's important that you peel the potatoes actually, so that the starch release and kind of thickens the sauce. I mean, I like watery sauces too, but this will just thicken it by a tiny bit. We've done it. Now, everything's beautifully translucent. We add a cup of dry white wine. Use cheap wine. Please don't use white Burgundy, even if you won the lottery. I mean, it evaporates. It'll taste the same. Now you bring it back to a boil to evaporate the alcohol. If you're cooking something more delicate, when the recipe calls for wine, I normally like to do it on a saucepan on the side, so I can boil the crap out of it without overcooking the delicate flesh. But because it's chicken thigh, I'm not gonna bother. All right, once the smell of alcohol has evaporated, we add our garden. I like to do this before adding the stock so that I could gauge how much stock I need to add. Also, it avoids splashing. Now, chicken stock. Some bay leaves. You can use whatever herb you have in the fridge. And then we add some mushrooms. I'm just going to clean them a tiny bit. You can wash your mushrooms, by the way, but do it just before cooking. Beautiful shimeji. You just want to trim off the roots. Again, you can use whatever mushroom you have in your fridge. Your gnocchi. I don't know what they're called. They look nice. Now you bring it back to a boil. Once you see it's bubbling, lid on. You lower the heat to medium low, and you let it simmer for about 30 minutes or until the potatoes are softened. I'll see you then. After about 40 minutes, the dish is ready. Let's have a look. So during the 40 minutes, I skimmed off most of the fat, just kept a tiny bit for taste. And now we can plate. Wow, it's hot. I would probably just serve it family style in the middle of the table, but for this video, we will plate. And if you don't finish the broth, you can always add some noodles later on, which we probably will do. Add some mushrooms, king oyster, that's always good. Unknown mushroom goes in the middle, I think. If you want a thicker broth, by the way, you can always add one potato with a bit of broth and you liquidize that. The potato will then thicken the broth. You don't need to make a roux or use flour. And just for a bit of brightness, chives, it is Jardine after all. And of course, a bit of Japanese 7 spice. You can use chili flake or you can leave it out. This is, I mean, at this point you can add anything to it, really. And there we have it. One pot dinner for two very hungry people. This is chicken Jardine. I really hope you enjoy. Beautiful.